My dear friends, one of the deepest fears hidden inside the human heart is not the fear of death. It is not the fear of sickness. It is not even the fear of losing money. It is the fear of being forgotten. As people grow older, a silent question often begins to echo in their minds. Who will care for me? Sometimes this question comes late at night. Sometimes it comes after children move away. Sometimes it comes after retirement. Sometimes it comes after losing a life partner. And sometimes, even while sitting in a house full of people, the heart still whispers, will anyone truly be there for me? Today, I want to speak not only to the elderly but also to the young, because aging is not a problem of old people. Aging is the future of every living person. And the fear of loneliness is not solved by having more people around us. It is solved by learning how to create deeper connection with others, with ourselves, and with the divine. The story of Mr. Sharma, let me begin with a story. There was an elderly man named Mr. Sharma. He had worked hard his entire life. He built a successful business, educated his children, bought a beautiful home, and fulfilled every responsibility expected of him. People respected him. Neighbors admired him. Relatives praised him. But after the age of 70, life slowly changed. His children moved abroad. His wife passed away. His phone stopped ringing as often. The same house that once echoed with laughter became painfully quiet. Every morning, he would sit near the window with a cup of tea and watch people rushing through life. One day, a young volunteer from a local community center visited him. She asked him gently, Uncle, what hurts you the most? He smiled, but tears gathered in his eyes. He said, I spent my whole life taking care of everyone. Now I am afraid there will be nobody left to care for me. My friends, many people are silently carrying this pain. But here is something important we must understand. Loneliness is not always the absence of people. Loneliness is often the absence of meaningful connection. And meaningful connection can still be created at any age. 1. Loneliness begins when connection disappears. Many older people quietly carry a painful fear inside their hearts. They wonder who will sit beside them when sickness comes, who will answer their phone calls when evenings become silent, and who will remember them when their strength fades. This fear becomes stronger after retirement, after children move away, or after losing a life partner. A man named Ramesh once shared this feeling during a spiritual gathering. He had spent 40 years building a successful business and sacrificing for his family. He paid school fees, solved family problems, and worked without rest. Yet after turning 70, he began feeling invisible. His children lived abroad, his friends stopped visiting regularly, and his large home suddenly felt empty. Every morning he drank tea alone near the balcony, asked himself the same question. After giving my entire life to others, who will care for me now? One evening, he visited a small temple near his neighborhood. There he met an elderly gardener who watered plants every day with deep joy on his face. Ramesh asked him, How are you so peaceful at this age? The gardener smiled gently and replied, Because I stopped measuring life by who is absent and started valuing who is still present. Those words touched Ramesh deeply. Slowly he changed his routine. He started greeting neighbors, calling old friends, helping children with studies, and attending weekly prayer meetings. Within months, his loneliness reduced. He realized that isolation grows when the heart closes itself from the world. Aging does not only weaken the body, sometimes it also makes people emotionally withdraw. They stop asking for help, stop expressing affection, and stop participating in life. However, human beings are designed for connection. A lamp loses purpose when hidden inside a box. Similarly, an elderly person loses emotional strength when disconnected from people and purpose. The solution to loneliness is not always having many people nearby. The real solution is building meaningful emotional and spiritual connections. Some people live in crowded homes yet still feel lonely because nobody truly understands them. Others live alone but feel deeply fulfilled because they remain connected through love, service, friendship, and faith. Growing older should not mean becoming emotionally distant from society. It should become a time to share wisdom, stories, compassion, and guidance. Fear begins shrinking when the heart becomes active again. Life may change with age, but the ability to love, contribute, and inspire never disappears. The heart still needs connection, kindness, and purpose. When older people continue participating in life with openness and warmth, they discover that care often arrives from unexpected places and loneliness slowly transforms into belonging. Ramesh later said something beautiful during another gathering. He said, I spent years waiting for someone to rescue me from loneliness, but healing started only when I began reaching out to others again. That lesson is important for every generation. Human hearts become healthier when they remain connected through compassion, gratitude, conversation, prayer, and sincere presence. Nobody becomes rich by living alone. 2. Your worth does not decrease with age. Aging often creates emotional pain because people slowly begin losing the roles that once defined their identity. A woman may spend decades serving as a mother, caregiver, advisor, and emotional center of the family. A man may dedicate his entire life to earning money, solving problems, and protecting loved ones. Then one day retirement arrives, children become busy, and daily responsibilities suddenly disappear. The silence that follows can feel frightening. A retired school principal named Meena experienced this struggle deeply after leaving her profession. For 35 years, she woke up every morning with purpose. Hundreds of students respected her, teachers depended upon her guidance, and parents constantly sought her advice. But after retirement, her days became empty. She spent long hours watching television and scrolling through old photographs. She felt forgotten. During a family dinner, she quietly told her daughter, I feel like my usefulness has ended. Her daughter lovingly replied, Your work ended, but your value never ended. Those words changed Meena's thinking. Many people confuse productivity with worth. Society often celebrates people only when they are earning, achieving, or competing. Because of this, elderly individuals sometimes believe they no longer matter after becoming slower or physically weaker. Spiritually, this belief is completely false. Human worth does not decrease with age. A sunset remains beautiful even when daylight fades. In the same way, older people carry wisdom, patience, and emotional depth that younger generations desperately need. Meena slowly rebuilt her life with a different mindset. Instead of grieving the loss of her old role, she focused on discovering a new purpose. She began tutoring children who could not afford private education. She started reading spiritual books every morning and joined a women's discussion group every weekend. Most importantly, she stopped comparing her current life with her previous life. This became the turning point in her healing. Many elderly people suffer because they constantly look backward instead of engaging with the present. The past may contain beautiful memories, but life still continues in the present moment. Purpose is not limited by age. There are grandparents teaching values to children, retired doctors helping poor communities, elderly couples feeding homeless people, and widows comforting others through prayer groups. Their lives prove something powerful, meaning does not disappear with aging, it simply changes form. Emotional strength returns when people stop asking, What have I lost? And begin asking, How can I still contribute? The human spirit becomes healthier when it feels needed. Even small acts of kindness create emotional energy. A smile, a blessing, a conversation, or a helping hand can remind older people that their presence still matters deeply in this world today. Meena later shared her experience during a community event. She said, Retirement did not end my life. It only removed one chapter so another chapter could begin. Her statement inspired listeners. Aging becomes painful when people believe their story is finished. Peace returns when they understand that wisdom, compassion, guidance, and spiritual growth remain valuable until the breath. 3. Spiritual connection removes the fear of being alone. One of the greatest solutions to the fear of loneliness in aging is spiritual connection. Human relationships are important, but they cannot completely remove inner emptiness unless the soul also feels connected to something higher. Many people spend their younger years chasing achievement, money, recognition, and social approval. Their schedules remain crowded, their phones constantly ring, and their minds stay busy every hour. Yet later in life, when external noise becomes quieter, they suddenly realize they never learned how to sit peacefully with themselves. an elderly widower named Harish discovered. This truth after losing his wife of 40 years. After her passing, he felt emotionally broken. He stopped attending social events and rarely spoke with anyone. Every room in his house reminded him of memories. Nights became especially difficult because silence amplified his grief. One morning, while walking through a park, he noticed an old monk sitting peacefully beneath a tree. Curious about the monk's calm expression, Harish sat beside him and shared his pain. He said, I feel abandoned by life. I have nobody left. The monk listened carefully and then replied softly, when people leave, it does not mean love disappears. Sometimes life removes noise so the soul can hear deeper truths. Harish did not fully understand those words initially, but he continued meeting the monk every week. Slowly he learned meditation, gratitude, prayer, and reflective silence. He started waking early to watch the sunrise while chanting softly. He began writing daily reflections in a notebook. Instead of asking why suffering entered his life, he started asking what suffering was trying to teach him. Over time, his grief transformed into wisdom. Spirituality did not magically remove his loneliness, but it changed his relationship with loneliness. He no longer saw solitude as punishment. He began seeing it as an opportunity for inner growth. This is a powerful lesson for aging individuals everywhere. Solitude and loneliness are not identical experiences. Loneliness creates emotional emptiness, but solitude can create spiritual richness. A person deeply connected to prayer, meditation, devotion, or faith often develops emotional resilience even during difficult seasons. Spiritual practices calm the mind because they remind people they are never truly abandoned. Human support may change throughout life, but divine support remains constant. Many elderly people discover their deepest peace after developing a stronger spiritual routine. Simple practices like reading sacred wisdom, attending devotional gatherings, singing prayers, or helping needy people can nourish the heart deeply. The soul becomes healthier when life gains spiritual meaning beyond material success. Harish eventually started counseling grieving elders in his community. People admired the peace in his voice and the warmth in his presence. His pain became a bridge helping others heal. That transformation teaches an unforgettable truth. Sometimes the darkest seasons of aging become the very seasons that awaken the deepest light within the human soul forever. Harish once told a gathering, I feared being alone because I forgot that silence can become sacred. His words touched hearts struggling with isolation and uncertainty. My dear friends, growing old is not about losing life, it is about discovering life more deeply. Yes, there may be lonely moments. Yes, people may become busy. But never believe that your value decreases with age. A candle does not lose its beauty because it burns slowly. In the same way, your wisdom, kindness, and presence still carry light for others. Do not fear aging. Fear living without love, without connection, and without inner peace. Stay connected to people. Stay useful through kindness. Stay strong through faith. Because the heart that gives love never truly becomes alone. And always remember, even when the world becomes quiet, God still walks beside you. Thank you.